Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and Beyond Light Season of the Chosen intel. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to get a 100k Nightfall done this week. This can be done for a Platinum score or at Master difficulty. This is for the returning D1 strike, the Devil's Lair, or Suffix Prime, some people might know it as. I loved this strike in D1. It was actually one of the easiestly exploited Nightfalls that there was, and I'm going to be sharing with you all the glitches and cheeses that I've learned over years of doing this particular strike. Going to get to all that information in just one second, but first I just want to remind everybody I'm still doing the giveaway on my YouTube channel. The next one will be at 50,000 subscribers. All you have to do to be entered into that giveaway is like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on the notifications, the bell, right next to the big red subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram or Twitter. They'll be linked in the description box down below. And as always, if you stick around till the end of the video, I'll have a secret hashtag you can leave in the comments section to be entered into that giveaway a second time for this video. And remember, those secret hashtags stack between all videos. So if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, why not go back, check out another video, and of course, do it again. Okay. So the first thing that I want to go through on how to do this solo, because there's actually several ways to do this, is the easiest way. Now, the easiest way is you bring a Wither Horde, as you see me using. You have Warmind Cell mods equipped, and you have a Seraph weapon or an Ikilos weapon available. This is because if you have a 7th Seraph weapon or an Ikilos weapon, if you shoot a Wither Horde on the ground, the shot will burn, obviously. If you swap to the Ikilos weapon or the 7th Seraph weapon, it will then create Warmind cells from the Wither Horde shot. I know, it's weird, but this is essentially a glitch. But whatever weapon you have equipped, if an enemy dies from damage that you've dealt, so long as you have that weapon equipped, there's a chance it will create a Warmind cell. It's a great build, especially for this, because an AoE weapon is really going to be paramount. The next thing I would do is actually just go into matchmaking at 1270. If you are by yourself and you're just looking to get Platinum or a 100k, it's definitely the easiest, especially if you don't care about the clout of doing it completely by yourself. There's no reason to gloat. Just get it done. I would let your two match-made teammates run ahead of you in that very first section. That's the area where you spawn in, and just stay back and kill farm everything in that area. They can handle everything ahead of you well enough, but get all those enemies and get all those points. If you leave that area within the first 2 minutes while your teammates run ahead and you've killed everything, that's about 8,500 points just right there in under 2 minutes. There's also a champion at the end for that Platinum. It's pretty easy to get done. In this area, solar damage is really going to be the number one. But like I said, an AoE weapon like a Wither Horde, if you have it, is really going to be the best thing you can use. And just plant a shot right in front of all of these spawn locations. Everything sort of files in, and you can get almost everything done in seconds if you get it done properly, or if you plant a Wither Horde shot properly. I would also, if you are doing this completely by yourself, which I would suggest don't do any higher than 1300 because you won't need to, stay in this area on this tanker. This is the only real safe spot in this whole zone, really. There's a tunnel behind you that you can actually fall back into too if you need to. Ads will have one spawn location right at the entrance to that tunnel, so you might want to watch out. But the reason I say that this tanker is better is because not only is the tunnel there if you need it, but you can actually just drop back to where I am right here and you can't take damage from anything. Nothing will actually shoot you back here. So that's really the big safe spot. But if you're doing this in a match-made group at 1270, you probably won't need to use this area unless everybody dies. I would actually say just go a little bit more romper stomp and just bring a sword and try to nuke everything as much as possible while also shooting those Wither Horde shots to get AoE damage going. But it should be pretty simple at 1270, this particular section. At 1300, you're definitely going to want to take a little bit more time, but stay right where I am right here. It's the easiestly defensible spot, the most easily defensible spot. and it'll just make this whole area really, really simple. At 1300, you might not want to actually take time with that first section. I would maybe just speed right through it. I wouldn't actually say, if you're going for 100k solo at 1300, to worry about the champions so much, at least in that first area. Don't take that much time with them. I would actually just bypass any champion you don't need. Maybe go for a platinum run separate from the 100k run, because the champions will slow you up, and you're on sort of a, points per time ratio here, that you're always trying to figure out exactly how many points you can get in so many minutes so that you can actually progress and not lose points at the end. At 1300, you're going to have 20 minutes to complete this. At 20 minutes, you will start to lose points. You'll still be able to get some points, but you'll start to lose them. And then I believe it's at 21 minutes that you actually stop gaining any points. At 2700, you start losing points at 15 minutes, and then you stop gaining points at 18 minutes, I believe. So those are the two times you want to keep in mind. 18 minutes at 1270 is really the time to get it done in, while having farmed up enough points at that point to actually get 100k. But that actually shouldn't be that big a deal. I would actually suggest move to the boss room if you don't, or if you're not in a very competent group, maybe, and they are having trouble just progressing on their own in that first section. You could actually bypass that whole first section if you need. Just try to get to the boss room as fast as possible, because you're actually going to have so many enemies in that area. You probably won't have that big an issue farming up enough points. For this area, at 1270, just take out one champion at a time and just move through as fast as possible. I do suggest keeping one person in the back, maybe with the most ranged weapons, just to help take out these sort of snipers, but also you can do damage to the tank from this back area. Right, actually, as you enter this area, to the right of the door, you'll see these sort of pipes lined up on the wall. If you're doing this completely by yourself at 1300, this is going to be the spot that you want to go, because if you stay there and you don't have any teammates running ahead and aggroing enemies, nothing will actually look at you, including the tank. The tank will actually just sit there, and he can't actually shoot at you. He actually won't shoot at you. This is sort of the cheese spot for this particular area, and it causes a weird glitch with every single ad in the whole zone. For some reason, if the tank is not shooting at you, nothing else will look at you. It's very strange. It's been the same since D1. So if you're doing this completely by yourself at 1300, that's going to be the spot. At 1270, just move through in the exact way we're going. Start off on that front right side, and then go under the bridge and take out the left side. The left side, even though there is a cave on the right side, is actually the most easily defensible side. There's just enough of a crest to this hill, as well as the different things that they put in the way as far as rocks and covers, that you can actually just stand in this area, even though you might feel like you're in the open, and not take too much or have to worry about too much damage from the tank. This is also a very easily defensible position, and it's great for taking out the barrier champions that will spawn in the middle. And you'll actually get a second spawn of champions that sometimes you're not expecting, because it only happens once you've cleared out everything in the middle already. But make sure, if you have cleared out, in this case, that barrier champion, and you're thinking, I can now press up through the middle towards the tank, just be aware you're going to get an extra spawn at some point. Also, remember that even at 1270, these vandals, if they hit you in the back, will two-shot you. So clear them all out. As you can see, here's the extra set of spawns that are always sort of a surprise if you're not ready for them. Just remember that if you have started to move up through the middle. I don't know if it's going to be the same every time this strike comes up, but currently this is Barrier and Overload champions. Overload really is not too difficult if you have a sword or if you have Stasis. The grenades for Stasis, I'm talking about the ones that create the Frost Dome, are probably the easiest for this, especially if you have the mod that allows, I think it's a mod, that allows you to, or when you stun an enemy, you get another grenade back. Because once you lay one of those Overload champions in that Frost Dome, every single time you cause a stun, and because it is an AoE, or a damage over time, excuse me, attack, every single time he comes back from a stun, you get another grenade. So this basically creates an endless chain that you can have. Just another little tip for taking out those champions as quickly as possible. Witherhoard really is going to be the thing that you're going to want, though. So hopefully you have it. It can be bought now, I will add, from the Tower Kiosk, the exotic kiosk, which is great. It's definitely still one of the better weapons just to have with you if you're doing something by yourself, or if you're needing to just lay down, like I said, a lot of that AoE damage or damage over time. So try to take out this tank as quickly as possible. You can, if you need to, maybe put down a bubble if you're a Titan right at the legs, and then just have everybody sweep them all at once. Might be the easier way to do it, but I would actually suggest just taking out all the champions first. You're going to get that score that you want, and this area really isn't that difficult to run through. Have two people run through here. If you want to have someone stay behind to take out that last champion, you can, but it isn't essential. Like I said, just getting to the boss is really going to be the thing that you want. And in the boss room, there's another really good cheese spot. And for some reason, again, when you stand in this particular spot, the ads just kind of glitch out and they move away from you every single time they come into the room. And that's the room directly to the left, as you see us in right here. Now, in this case, you really didn't need, or I really didn't need to fully exploit this room. But this room allows you to move up and down between levels. There's a level beneath and a level above that you see us standing on. Standing on the top level really is great for taking out all the ads in this area, which, like I said, is going to be really where you want to farm up all those last kills that you need to get the 100k score. You can actually shoot right through the windows. AoE from a Witherhoard is going to be great. If you're doing this solo, and ads will file in here occasionally, very rarely, but they do occasionally. You'll get one or two that just sort of randomly either come up from the bottom or will move in from the tunnel directly to the left of the door on the outside. This happens, I've noticed, when you're just going back and forth between levels quite a bit. If you stay sort of at the top in the back of where the stairs are, you really won't have that much trouble. But something you can do if enemies do actually come in here and you're just in a tight spot, you can actually jump up on the shelf to my right. Believe it or not, that spot will cause all enemies that have come in this room to leave. I'm not sure why, but I think they just don't think you're in the room anymore. It's a little trick. It'll get them to leave, believe me. But that's really, if you're doing this again at 1300, completely by yourself. Otherwise, just sort of use this room as a sort of a safe ground to take out the new mini servitors that spawn between phases of Suffix, and use this area to farm up all those last bit kills. If you're doing this right, even if you skip the first area at 1270, you'll still end this with about a 103 to 105,000 point score. If you have a competent enough group, just by luck, in the matchmaking process, to move through that area by themselves, and you can stay back and just farm kills, you actually might end this with like a 140,000 score. I don't know if this is going to be something for this season that we're going to be able to take full advantage of because of the way that power has sort of been switched between all the Nightfalls for this season. The fact that there's not really that much of a difference now between 1270 and 1300 versus what it was, which was 1220 and 1250, which was actually a much bigger jump relatively last season as far as the points that you would acquire. I think that this actually might be something that we can use as far as doing solo Nightfall at 100K for the rest of the season at 1270. I think it's going to be a good season for that, actually. But this particular one is definitely going to be one of the easiest, just because of the amount of enemies and I guess the knowledge that players do have, or some players might have, of this particular strike. It's very exploitable. It has been around for a long time. Like I said, it's a D1 strike, so hopefully you all enjoy it. I really had fun doing this week. It's been a while since I actually had this much fun doing a Nightfall. So, you know, hopefully you found this information helpful. Thank you for watching all the way till the end of the video. And for the secret hashtag, you can leave in the comments section. Leave a hashtag Season of the Chosen or a hashtag Beyond Light. And as always, I am Wilhelm Scream. Of course, we will see you in the next video. Little